our baseball program.
Yeah, that's one of them.
I think it was talked about. It was talked about when we were doing it. We didn't have a plan for our program. We were playing in January.
Yeah, thank you.
We needed to come up with something.
We are live.
Once we figured out.
Okay.
the playing league, everything went away.
We'll wait just a minute just to see if we get one more, because otherwise we can't really vote.
I'll text Kelsey quick.
She is not coming.
Kelsey's out.
Nora's birthday. Clint has softball, he is not coming. Sailor, I don't know, and Nate is
Okay,
not coming.
Sailor.
Nate has a meeting.
Means you have to take notes. I don't know if that's true or not.
That's what we get for sitting so close to him.
Otherwise, you can say Sailor watch it on TV.
I just talked to Matt yesterday.
Yeah, we do that too. I can scratch some notes
So if somebody wasn't coming.
on paper other than this, but.
If nothing happens, we don't.
So you said Clint had something going on?
He will not be coming. So him and Kelsey are for sure not coming, and Nate is not gonna be.
Sailor could call him, right? So
Yeah.
he would still be.
And I don't know, is there anything we really have to vote on anyway? Maybe this,
I
the
don't know.
recommendation for the playground?
That, I don't know if we have to vote or not, but then the baseball tournament team on the new business for B, there's a memo at the end for that.
No. Yeah. Well.
So how many do we need for a vote for?
We need one more, right? Because we're missing 4. We're missing, well, you need more than 50%, right? And we only have 6, so we need 4. I'm pretty sure.
Cause I don't have a vote. It's just-
Right.
It's just the
Yeah.
6, yep.
Sorry, we'll start here soon.
I just wanna start with that amendment on
I
that.
think we can do that,
And then
cause,
I can, we can take off.
Yeah.
I just wanna know what it says. I don't have anything to bring
cause it's,
forward.
So-
visitors to be heard is pretty much right away.
So do you guys want to talk too?
Nope.
No, you want
I
to
just
hear
wanted
about
to
it?
know what was
So
being
we'll-
talked about in reference to baseball.
So we'll have to move it around, I think. We'll have to vote on that to move it up. I think we can do that.
Okay. Are you okay with that?
You wanna wait for the whole time?
It doesn't really matter. Like I said, I just wanted to know what was gonna be said. Outside of that, I don't know.
She's gonna call in, cause she forgot.
This,
What's the number?
I have no clue.
Is it on there?
It's dark right now. Can we just call in from your cell phone? Like have her call your cell phone and go on speakerphone?
Sure, we could.
Because this is dead.
Yeah.
The second team last year.
Yeah, you want to try to do that?
We just strictly went off.
Sorry.
No,
What I picture.
yeah, you don't know the number.
Kid left off of.
Nate's not here, so I'm just gonna put you on speaker on my phone.
approved it.
Okay. Here's Cindy.
I can hear you, I'm so sorry.
Okay, perfect. All right, let's call the meeting to order then. I gotta find, there we go. Any additions to the agenda? I think I can make a request, but I can't motion to do it. I'd like to request that someone make a motion to move the baseball tournament teams up to the front of the, as the first thing.
I motion.
Okay. All right, all in favor? Aye.
I,
Opposed? Okay, so then, any visitors to be heard? You guys are good? Hey, good. We're just on visitors to be heard, if you have anything to say.
I just wanted to touch base, I got an email today on, the fence project.
Do you wanna just start up here?
Matt Hanson, with the LBSA committee, I got an email today on, the fence project that we had proposed. So it sounds like we have a current bid and we just need to get with the city to get a timeline and get monies associated with it, so,
Okay.
yeah.
Are you able to send it to Trey and Nate probably?
Yeah, we can, we got it from Drew, so we're assuming that.
Oh, Drew already
that
knows
you guys
it.
are tracking it, but we
Okay.
just wanted to touch base and make sure that we're good there.
I'll check with Drew.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, sooner the better, we can get it, and then,
I was actually gonna ask about it tonight, where we were at with it, so.
yep.
Perfect, thank you. All right, good. Minutes, so we just gotta approve last week, or last month's minutes.
Motion to approve is written.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? All right, so that passed. So we'll move on to baseball tournament teams. Do you want me to read it all? Or do
I
you
don't
want
know
to? Did you put it together or did?
No,
you?
Nate did, but, the memo issue was that parents have approached the recreation manager requesting separate 12U and 11U tournament teams for the summer of 2024. So that would, and then in the memo, it would be a current policy, it would need a policy change as we allow multiple teams, but only in the instance of an A team and B team, if there's enough to create another one. There's not a policy right now for a different age group, so it would require a different, or a policy change.
What was the reason
Okay.
for that?
So they want to, a group I think wants to have 12U have a tournament team for that. And then the 11U would have their own tournament team. So it'd be a change from what we do right now. We do anything 12U, A team. And then really the only time we've ever had a B team was last year, I
Because
believe.
there was so many.
Because we had like
Try out.
32 kids try out. So we had 2 teams, but we still had an A team and then like a second team.
And now I think some of those numbers that made it have enough for a second team now are in 12U. So I think the reasoning, I can't say exactly the reasoning, but I think it was brought up that if there's enough, do we just keep the kids in their age together opposed to creating 2 teams?
I think you want to create the best team, you know, and I think since we've always done it this way and our policy, you know, we have to change the policy just to do this for this 1 year. doesn't really make sense. Because if you have enough for 2 teams, then you just do it like always, like you've got your A team and your B team.
That
I
would
mean,
be.
you know, the 14-year-olds wanted to do their own thing like a couple years ago. And so they ended up, the city said no, because they didn't want to do that. Because like with softball, I feel like years ago, there was an issue similar to
Mhm.
this, and it kind of hurt the softball program. So I
Yeah.
don't really know that you want to start changing things
The-
like this for Little League.
And my opinion would be, these, you know, whether you're 11 or 12, you're gonna play with the kids above you and below you throughout your career. You might as well get used to playing with them and,
Well, they've been doing it
and
since.
filling in, you know,
Right.
where I might be a shortstop this year, but next year I might be a second baseman or whatever. So that would be my feeling too.
Right.
Wouldn't they play in the same league?
Well,
So-
this is just for tournament.
So
Yeah,
if
but
11
they
you
would
have
like be
their,
playing at the same tournaments though, still, right? In the same,
In
depends.
some cases.
If they play, if there was a 12U tournament, the 11U team would be playing in that
Right.
tournament, and state as well.
Right.
Is not, there's not an 11U like its own division, there's not its own division for state. So if they found their own 11U tournament, that would be the only
okay.
But I-
separate.
I think the 12U, the fact that that's the state tournament, tells you exactly. This is for 11 and 12-year-olds. And if an 11-year-old is better, then they should play,
You're creating
because
the
that
best
makes
team.
our best team.
Yeah.
That's my thought,
I agree.
So I have a question on that.
Mhm.
okay?
So it happened to Grant here 2 years ago with kids moving up and staying down. How does that work?
You,
Because we had some of it last year where kids have played multiple years at 10U and they actually played a third year because of the way their birthday fell. So is that still, it's gonna be acceptable for 10U and 12U where I know like in Grant's situation, he played up and made the tryout team fair and square, and then because he was too young, then they told him that he couldn't play. So like where's the left?
who said they could?
The Park and Rec board had an emergency meeting.
That was
So
before
I
us.
remember.
It was before you guys.
Oh, okay, sorry.
Yeah, it was.
I
before
thought
you
we
guys.
made a change to that allowed whatever, if you try out for that next grade up, that's fine, but then you aren't on the younger team. If you don't make it.
can't miss one and then say, okay, I want to try out.
Sure.
And
Gotcha.
the only reason we did that was because Graydon was 10U and just one less place. for
Yep.
everybody.
No, I totally understand that. I had no problem.
And
I was just
that's,
curious.
yeah, and I think that's why if someone chooses to try out for that higher grade and they are one of the better ones, then that's perfectly fine if they make that team.
Okay.
I think our recommendation was that just because you don't make 12U now, you didn't try out for 10U, so you don't make that.
So how
You
does
know.
that work then if kids try out that, let's say they're 7th graders, so they're 12U still? They don't make the 12U team, are they still allowed to then go back up to the 13U?
That's a different.
That's a different
not-
organization.
Different
That's
organization.
not city.
So can they play both then?
They could,
They're signed up for 12.
they're signed up for 12U rec.
So if they don't make the tournament team, they'll play with 12.
12U rec, yep.
And like for our organization anyway, you try out for one of the teams. And that's your decision. You can try out for anything that you are eligible for. And you make that, that's your choice.
Okay.
If that
Thank
makes sense.
No, it clarifies it, and that, I mean, as you guys were bringing it up, that was something that I remember in the past, and didn't know if it had been ruled upon or not.
Chris, do you have anything to add? Any thoughts?
No, I
Okay.
think so.
Sailor, do you have any thoughts?
I agree.
Okay, so we can probably,
Leave
do you
as is.
table that? or what, or do you say, if you're gonna,
I think-
so if no one makes a motion, we just move on, right?
Make a motion to deny it. Make a motion to turn it down and
Okay.
then everybody votes. That's.
I'll make a motion to leave as is.
Okay.
11, 12 together.
Right, so the recommendation on the memo is, I recommend no action be taken on the request. So I guess I would motion to take the recommendation that is on the memo.
Okay. Oh, okay, so she kinda already did, right?
Yep.
And you made the motion first, so
Okay, second.
let's second that, and then we'll vote on that. All right. All in favor, or, so this is to pretty much take no action tonight on the base, on changing the tournament team, right?
This year, right?
For this year,
This year, yeah, and probably,
yeah. Okay, so all in favor?
I,
Aye. Any opposed? Okay, so no action taken. Okay. So then we'll move back up to Trey's report, right?
Besides soccer and spring pickleball beginning soon, the rest of my business would be in the following,
Okay.
in the
So
items to come up anyways, so I can elaborate when those come up.
okay, perfect. So we'll move on to Westerman Park Playground. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Do you want me to read that? He's got a memo.
I can read if you want.
Okay.
The city of Lennox is budgeted for a new playground in Westerman Park for 2024. The background: following the February Park Board meeting, I communicated the board's questions and changes to Terry Strong at Cunningham Recreation. Attached as a result of that communication, with the modifications, the final price should come out around $79,000. I'm communicating with the city attorney to ensure that this does not need to be a bid publicly and expect that it does not need to be. That being said, the cost is approximately $30,000 over what was budgeted, so if this is the route you wish to pursue, we will need to secure additional grants and giving. I'd appreciate your discussion and direction on this item.
There, I see there's a picture of kind of like what we requested and then the email to Nate from, Terry, it looks like, from Cunningham, with the kind of the changes.
So removed swings, spring rider, and one of the components that branches out, added swing and 2 to 5 more options. Sliding provided a double sliding opportunity on a 7-foot deck plus an additional zip slide off a new 3-foot deck suitable for ages 2 through 5. Balancing the climbing pods connecting the stool pods, spring rider promote muscular strength and increase in efficient body positioning and counterbalance. Added a saucer swing. Looks like multiple climbing opportunities. Added the sensory cove climber triangle that doubles as a grade climber for 2 through 5 ages, but also a nice spot for any age child who want to rest. Also had a leaning wall, good for ages 2 through 5 as well. And then there's a drawing, I believe.
So that prices are out of pocket, it sounds like, after the grant? Is that how? If we're 30,000 over, because I think he had budgeted 50 for out of our, like out of the city's money.
So on the pictures look like these are updated with the changes? Or this picture?
Well, I don't know.
I think so.
It looks like it.
So it has, they took that little baby swing out and it has the
Saucer.
saucer swing. And then that,
Little cove thing.
yeah, the little cove
Um,
climber thing is kind of over
Oh,
by there.
yeah.
And then the little picture at the top, that's the additional slide with the smaller deck, so it's a smaller slide. So remember we were talking about, you know, like a toddler area?
Yeah.
So it looks like they just kind of added another deck with a smaller slide onto the other opposite side there. It says no zip line option that would work with the structure, and they're pretty spendy, so.
Sailor, did you get that picture I sent?
I did, I was just looking at it. What's the, like, steep looking thing next to the saucer? Freestanding.
I was wondering.
Yeah, I don't know.
Familiar?
It's a, oh, where did it say that?
It must be, because I think we.
Sensory
we-
cove climber triangle.
Yeah, it says it doubles as a great climber for, so I think that's another, they added it for that other option for like little kids.
Yeah, we had asked for little younger stuff.
And then they also put that leaning wall. I think it's the one, like the, whatever, the little climbing wall thing that they said
Right.
that would be, again, age appropriate for younger kids too.
That's this, right in the middle, kinda.
Yeah.
I like it. I think it's nice.
There's a lot
There's a
of
lot.
stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Like it feels like on our current one, it's you climb up something and you go down a slide.
Mhm.
And that's, you know, or you get stuck in that tube. You know,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
there's really not a lot, like you got lots of climbing, 2 slides,
There's a couple spinning things.
you know, and that saucer.
So the, I don't know, with the white, stepping area onto like a 2 black, is that where you just climb across, nothing is moving on that, right? The little picture's the way left part.
So I think the
Yeah.
white thing is a spinning
Oh, okay.
thing. Yeah, I don't know what the black is, maybe
You
just
Grab on and climb
climbing
across.
across, I guess.
They call that an accelerator.
Yeah,
Yeah, so it must spin in some way.
yeah. We went to a park in Florida that had something similar, and you like stand on it and like hold it, and then you have to try and like use your body to kind of like
Oh,
get it
yeah, yeah.
going round and round.
What are you guys, which part are you guys talking about? I
It's
can't-
like
Right.
the white.
Oh, that,
Right
okay.
there.
Yep, that spins.
And the rest of it is just for climbing on and,
I think
Or-
so.
They call it a geocentrics, but I don't, it doesn't tell me anything. I think it looks good.
Mm-hmm.
But if $30,000 extra, says we'll need to secure additional grants or giving.
So, Nate had said the city budgeted 50,000, right? And
there was a discount.
right, so it was whatever. Our cost would be 79,000. So, but that's just like this, whatever quote or numbers. It says the final price should come out to be about $79,000. Is that without any sort of grants. That's just the city's budget
That's after grant.
after the grant from the company, right?
Yeah,
That's not any other private grants or anything like that. I
right.
thought Nate had said too that there is
There
some,
might be something else out there.
yeah, park grants too. I thought we were talking about
I know,
maybe.
cause what did we use, like the Wellmark or
Yes,
Excel, I can't remember.
well, Mark,
Someone over on the other one, we used that, so it sounded like maybe we weren't gonna be able to use it for this one, but there's other ones, is what it
Right.
sounded like.
I think if we can get additional grant money, that this,
I don't know what I wanna
Looks
get rid of.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I know, yeah, because you want something for all the kids.
if you
and
get
this is
rid
pretty
of,
good.
you probably aren't ever getting it, you know?
Mhm.
Right.
Like, it
well,
doesn't happen very often where you add to it.
the other thing too is like, what are you gonna get rid of that is going to make a huge change or a huge
Right.
difference? You know, like say we're like, well, we don't want this triangle thing, you know, it's just kind of an add-on. I was gonna try and find how much that was, but I'm guessing,
I would be curious what the breakdown is, just looking back at the spreadsheet that we got at our last meeting. So the first playground that we looked at was just under 100,000. And they were giving us a grant for 69 or 59. But
So-
then the next one, they gave a grant for 80, and the highest level, they gave a grant for 94. So I would just be curious what the actual breakdown was.
So this includes the installation, which is almost 30,000. And I think the last one did not include that.
Okay.
The other company I thought included it, but this one didn't, and I think we were kinda tasked or talked about if we could maybe provide some of that help to get some of that cost down.
Yeah, because I thought that was the original conversation, was that the city guys could assemble it, we would just need some volunteers to help put it together.
Yeah. But I mean, that would save, which I suppose you'd only save half of that if the grant only covers half of that.
That doesn't look like a lot of fun to put together.
No,
I mean,
that, I think,
well,
well, I guess my question too would be, if we do that, is there any sort of like warranty or
Warranty, I was wondering
anything
that
that is,
Yeah,
that cancels out if we don't have them put it together?
I think they did it, like the city did it over
yeah,
there. And like I'd have no problem helping.
mhm.
I wouldn't be able to lead by any means. So, I don't know, I mean, we could come back with that as an option, like,
Let's see what he can
Yeah.
get for grants and then,
yeah, I mean, we like what we see,
Or is
we'd
there,
like this,
or is there another thing we could add if we do the install? Like if we save that much,
yeah.
another small item, I don't know.
So, I mean, is everyone kinda happy with that design, though?
I am.
Yeah, yes.
So do we have to recommend, going further with this design and looking at other options, for funding and to get that extra money? Cause it doesn't necessarily say, or do we just have to tell them we're good? I don't know if we have to make a motion on that or not.
do we want to do a motion, then just, look for other grant options?
Yeah,
Yes.
I think that sounds good.
Mhm.
If we don't need it, that's fine, but then he'll have it. Do you wanna do the motion, Sailor?
Absolutely.
I second.
All right, so we've got a motion to, what was it again? I'm sorry. How did you word it?
I just said a motion to ask the city for help in, looking for other grant options to cover the difference over the 50,000 that we had budgeted.
Okay, so we've got a motion and a second to ask the city for help in coming up with the extra money over the $50,000 that was budgeted. Yeah, all in favor?
I,
Any opposed?
Seva,
What was that?
all in favor?
Oh, aye, sorry.
All right, so 4-0 on that. Okay, are we good on that then? All right, next, the rec trail.
Park Board has expressed a desire to expand the recreational trail from Blaine Street to West Evergreen Park. Following authorization from the City Council, I've been discussing the purchase of property from Long Creek Park LLC to eliminate crossings over Long Creek. Stockwell Engineers is preparing an exhibit for the land we would need to acquire through use of their surveying team. I anticipate the survey to be complete soon and the negotiations can then begin.
Okay, that sounds good.
Mhm.
Does anyone have anything to discuss on that? That's good, I'm glad that's moving fast.
Yeah.
All right, next, then concessions.
So as far as concessions, I had a couple ideas that I had brought up and was told to kind of bring it up to you guys, see what you thought. Kind of goes with summer physical education program 2. My thought was if we are not going to get rid of concessions to an outside source, whether it be a company or a family to run it, my thought was to have kind of a part-time park and rec worker or an assistant to do kind of some little things that would be at a lower cost than me doing some little things. And it could also be someone who is a consistent person at the summer rec program as well. So if that was something that we liked, I don't know what stages we'd all need to go through, but they could do things such as checking the concession stands to see what we need and let me know. Could be getting the money bags every day, the same person doing that, instead of me running to town and clocking in hourly to do those things, and then helping out with summer rec were just a few things I thought someone could do as a position, and I could do other hours on the programs and focus on those. So any thoughts on that from anyone?
How many hours, like in a day, do you think that would, just the concession part?
Depending on how much we would be allowed for that person to do, they could go as far as they're stocking it and picking up the orders from here. I mean, it'd be a lower cost than me doing those things,
Right.
especially with new programs that we've started since I've been doing this. I could focus on those, especially with the summer rec program being the first year. So yeah.
Is the food ordered and sent or delivered to Lennox, or do you go pick it up at Sam's, or?
If I need something immediately, I will run to Sam's.
Okay.
If it's something I need from there. Otherwise, running to Sunshine, coming to town to do that if we're in need for tournaments or something.
Right.
But I can still do the orders, but if the boxes come to here and that assistant grabs those things and fills them and checks inventory. Not only is that giving me more time to do program stuff, but it also is doing concession things at a lower cost than me doing it.
Is it like 10 hours a week during the summer, probably?
For
Or,
me,
I mean,
or for them.
Depending on how many game nights there
Yeah,
are.
probably. And I would still do the sign up genius and things like that, but just the little things that I'm coming to do instead of focusing on running programs. And especially for the profit we make on concessions with the hours that I'm doing and everyone else, I thought it might be a good idea to keep trying concessions if we can't hand it off and do it maybe at a lower cost with someone. And it's just a part-time assistant, I guess, type of role.
Honestly, I like the idea of somebody else just doing it, like
Mhm.
the whole thing,
Yeah,
you know, but, I mean, you don't wanna lose the money either, but it could be such a headache to get people to work it.
And I'm
So
not throwing that
difficult.
idea out either. If that's something we like, we would need to discuss
Right.
how to write it up and how to advertise it and go about that. When I talked to the T Park and Rec, the head of that, he said they pretty much just gave it away and someone's willing to do it all. They don't take any money, no percentage, no charges, anything.
Right.
So those are the
Is it
two.
something, sorry, is it
No.
something we could try for a year and do just like a summer position, and if it doesn't work out, then go to probably next year?
That was my idea, to not let go of it and try something at a lower cost. And give me a little more time for all the new ones and additional ones that may come in the future. Especially if it's someone right in town to go check what's needed at 2 different concession stands, get the money bags every day consistently on the days needed. Find a trustworthy person for that.
Could this person potentially fill in gaps for working concessions if needed? As well, if they had hours left in the week?
I had one person come forward that kind of brought it up to me, and that person umps a lot already, but if they're not umping, it could be something they could maybe fill in to do
Mhm.
in a bind.
and then you said they'd also maybe be part of the summer rec.
Yes, and I mean,
Because that'd be tough to, I mean, that'd be a good
Right.
combination. and
that's
give
what I thought too.
Someone that maybe is really busy in the summer, give them some hours still maybe
Right.
for that couple weeks plus
Mm-hmm.
10 hours a week or whatever.
Would it make it harder for you, like, to keep making sure that they were doing it? Or do you think that
I don't know if
it
I'm
would
supposed to say
really be
the
helpful?
person that brought it up to me, but
Yeah.
I
This-
wouldn't say the name, I don't think.
this person or whoever applied, if it was someone else, we would decide a person who's responsible and trustworthy and,
Right. You wouldn't have to, like, keep,
right. And I would probably work with them for a few days and be like, we usually want at least this much on hand of this. And then after that, they can, or even if they're telling me what's there,
right.
like exact amounts, then I know what to also order too.
And then when people are working, if you maybe just put something in there to, you know, put a note, if
Mhm.
there's, maybe just have a spot to, like a whiteboard or something,
Mhm.
that, so people, when they're working, they can kind of jot down what's
That's a good idea.
missing. So then
Mm-hmm.
whoever's working it or whatever.
So you're envisioning this person too would like bring the money to concessions before they open, and then close it out at the end of the night and bring it back here, and so it'd be like one consistent person, or?
If they're available to do that as well,
Mhm.
instead of someone else dropping it off.
Mhm. The reason I ask is just because I know, like, the first time I ever did concessions, I was like, I don't know what the door code is, like, I don't know how to get in here, or, like,
And that's the hard part,
closing.
because I have to reach out to everybody that
Right.
works it, and
Right.
Yep,
Right.
so give the door code, or like at the end, you know, when you're closing, you're like, okay, am I doing this all right?
Yeah.
You know, am I cleaning this right, or whatever? So, I
Mhm.
mean, if that person was there, like, just to check in, drop the money off at opening,
Yeah.
and then like to pick it up and kind of make sure everything is closed out correctly,
yeah.
I think that would
I'm all
be,
for that too.
helpful accountable to the people working.
I think that's all, would be a lot of hours.
That's a
though,
lot of, yeah.
Because.
Unless they're
all the
umping there
time.
already, like if you said it's the
Right.
same that umps, then it wouldn't be such a bad, because once you're done, they go
Yeah.
over there. But, yeah, if they aren't umping, they maybe aren't gonna be there.
Right,
I don't think anyone wants to come back at night and just to grab that,
Right.
not knowing when games are getting over
And it could be if, instead of having them go back and get it, it could be they go get it the next morning when they go get new ones. Since, I don't know.
right. I've thought about that before, like leaving it there, but then do you wanna leave money in there? Just knowing that so many people know
True.
the code,
yeah.
you know,
sure.
I mean, the likelihood of an adult doing that is pretty slim, but,
Right, yeah, it's probably better to come back.
Yeah.
right, to do it that night. But I understand what you're saying, how, you know, if you don't work it very often, or if you're, you know,
Yeah, 'cause
you don't really know
I have
what to do.
I have a write-up in there, but it's a lot to go through.
It is a lot,
So
Yeah.
I get that for sure.
yeah,
Yeah, and just kind of walking, especially, I mean, I've done it a couple times now, so it's fine, but like walking in the first time, I was like, I've never used one of these popcorn machines before, so I don't know.
Right.
I'm like, you know, following the instructions, make sure I'm not trying to burn myself, all those
Yeah.
kind of things. Hoping that the other person working with me knows what they're doing.
yeah.
But as far as that position that I am interested in getting, it could be as little as those little things that would save money essentially and give me some time, more time to do, not saying more important things, but the
Other
programs
things,
and things like that. And
So
then if the position goes through and is approved and they're allowing up to so many hours and they're not getting it from that, then maybe there's other things that they could do, but especially having someone do that'd be a consistent person for summer rec program too.
Yeah.
If they're available.
I like that idea. I think, like Sailor said, sounds good to try at least for a year and see if it works. And if we come back at this time next year and it didn't work,
Right.
we can I mean, at least we can say we
I
tried.
tried and, yeah.
And now what's our next step?
Well, I feel like maybe with concessions, finding a different option, so we're at the end of March, so like finding a different option to like get a contractor in there or whatever, you know, putting something out for bid or finding
A
someone,
family or, you're right.
yeah, who wants to do it. We're probably getting a little bit close
Mhm. Right.
on time to get that up and going.
Yeah.
So this might be a different option.
Right, and if it doesn't get approved and it's just me doing it all again, the profits won't be great again.
Right.
Just because of all the time between all of us to make it all work.
Mhm.
So I kind of just thought about this option, actually brought it to me from someone. But it'd be a lower wage to do these things and
And I think kids around here are always looking for a job of some sort, and there's not a lot of options here, you know, so it's something that somebody can do without having to drive to Sioux Falls. So is there gonna be like an age, like 16 and over, or,
for this position,
yeah, would we be?
I would assume it'd be one position and I would probably say I don't know, maybe a 16 at least year old
Yeah.
for that kind of position.
Especially with
With the
like
money
dealing
and-
with money and just. kind of-
Driving.
There's a lot of responsibilities.
Not saying, yeah, you're not gonna be 16 to drive, but.
Right.
As far as some of the concern goes around like dropping the money at night, is there a way we could put like a drop box in the concession stands? Something gets mounted to the building, like when you drop off your water bill? Maybe not this year, but going forward, if this is something we keep doing.
Like a lockbox in the concession stand,
Like a permanent
Yeah.
one somewhere?
yeah.
You could do a box that had like some sort of like mechanism to put it in, and then it closed, and the only way to get it out would be through the code, which, you know, you or someone from the city would
Right.
have.
That might be kind of expensive, like a lockbox or anything, but it's a great idea, like,
Cause So right now, they just
Going
bring it to this Dropbox, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And some people have called, where's this box at? Which, yeah, if you've never done it before, there's a lot of stuff to go through and read. And
You know, and I'm here, I mean, unless I'm at, you know, a ballgame or something, I'm normally in town, and so I can always help grab the money or whatever. I mean, I think maybe we should all, if you're in town, as a board, just kind of be there to help with little things, if we can, just to make it easier on you and help whoever does this. Kind of just play a supporting role.
Even if, yeah, I mean, I suppose we could all, for one, I don't know, one day a week or something,
Right.
we go grab the money
Mhm.
after the games? I mean, is that too much?
Well, I think
I
it would
don't-
be hard, because you might be gone for a ball
Yeah,
game,
true.
you might be, and we don't know who's gonna be gone when.
Yeah,
That's
or
true.
maybe just signing up for like a week of kind of like a
Supervisor.
concessions coverage or whatever, so like your phone number would be there for that week for, as the point of contact if someone had questions maybe?
Right,
I don't know.
right. That's a good idea.
Yeah.
And then like if I can't help with something because I'm out of town, I'll call Steve or you or, you know.
Yeah, and I get, or send an SOS, like, who would be available to run out there and help, or,
Right. I mean, that's
Yeah.
an option. We could probably, maybe iron it out, make it a little bit better, but. it's an
Well,
idea.
How about, so do we want to do anything with this, with what Trey said tonight? With the
added position.
added position? Maybe we, if we choose to, we make that motion and decide that. And maybe we discuss the other stuff next time when we've got everyone here too.
Yeah.
But I think that sounds good too.
Yeah.
So I motion to, I guess, submit the position for a part-time Parks and Rec helper to the city for consideration.
Second.
Okay, so the motion's to submit to the city a part-time Parks and Rec worker. All in favor? Aye.
I,
Any opposed? Okay, so that's good. All right, summer rec program.
So that was kind of part of that, and then the other thing would be, how many, positions we would have to hire for if volunteers or, I haven't got back on any high schoolers that need hours for during the summer yet, so that's not looking great. So it would be down to volunteers or hiring for those, for the summer rec, so. And I'll find out more about like 4-H and things like that, but they'd still need a certain amount of staff to make the, at least a decent ratio. Other than that,
When would a good registration time be, do you think, for that? Because I know we've surveyed.
I'd say I would probably like to get it out in April,
Yeah.
and then, especially because it's not in May or June already, it'd be, I think, after July 4th still, and then 3 different weeks, unless people thought there wasn't enough interest in the fine arts and hold off or still do it and see what registration looks like and go from there.
Yeah, maybe just put a disclaimer like, we need this many people
Right.
to actually
Mhm.
do it.
Yeah, I'm gonna reach out to some fine arts teachers and see if they'd be willing to volunteer or for a certain
Right.
amount or whatnot, so. But when I get more information on that, I'll have more to
Okay.
discuss, so.
All right, so we don't need to do anything with that one tonight. So, on to the or the scoreboards.
Did you say scoreboard?
Yes.
Yeah,
So the sponsor signs on the baseball field scoreboard are due for replacement. It is my understanding that the original sponsor signs on the baseball field scoreboard were sold to local businesses for approximately $5,000 at least 6 years ago. The signs have faded and it's time to replace them. I am asking for guidance on how you would like to proceed. My 2 suggestions are: individual park board members approach local businesses with requests. City staff can create the marketing materials. 2, work with LBSA to work on a fundraising plan for the new signs. I would appreciate any feedback on your preferences on proceeding. I don't know if anyone knows or not, was there when those businesses paid the $5,000, were they guaranteed to be on there for a certain amount of years, or was it for one?
usually it's so many years, it might be 5.
So, okay.
You know, it's like,
So
you're
their time
prepaid for
has
that
been-
many years.
Mhm.
With that said, none of us were on it at that, right?
Right.
Yeah, because you got on it when I did, so we don't know anything about it.
So assuming their time is up, it could be in
Way
the,
up.
it could be in the process of finding new ones as soon as we could. Okay.
So I guess my first thought would be, we probably go back to those same people first, though, right?
I would think if they're all
If
local
they were
ones,
the first ones to give us
yeah.
that, we should probably go back to them,
I
and they
agree.
can say no,
Right.
but,
You get
First choice, I would agree with that. And see how many get filled from
yeah.
that first.
Is anyone a good salesperson?
I could hand somebody a brochure, that's about it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm willing to try,
I would
but,
try.
I can try, I don't even know who's on, I'd have to look to see what businesses are on there.
I can't remember now either.
Well, LBSA has talked about this quite a number of times, but it never, we think about it and then wait till next meeting and then we think about it. But I bet you they would be willing to help,
To partner at least,
to
and
partner.
we can both be part of it maybe,
Right.
or if they wanna
Right.
do it all, that's perfectly fine
Right.
too.
Because, all the money's going to improvements. So,
Yeah, yeah, we're all in for the same
same reason.
reason.
I think it's worth at least trying out sponsors too, and if the city, it says, city staff would create the marketing materials, that makes it a little bit easier.
Yes,
So
it
you
does.
can go in and know what your pitch is gonna be and
Mhm.
whatnot. That helps.
Yeah.
And especially if we have those that are already on there, that we can kind of just go back and say, are you interested in this again? We're trying to do a new one. That would be streamline it a little bit.
Mhm.
And if they gave once, they've shown a commitment at some point to the town, to the
Mhm.
field. So it's not like you're cold calling people yet,
Yeah,
Yeah.
so that's helpful, I think.
and there may be new businesses in town that weren't around when,
Mhm.
I don't
Yeah.
know who's on the board right now.
Well, I mean, so right now, we're kind of recommending to go maybe back to the same people that started first, and that we'd be willing to help in some way, right?
Mhm.
Do we need to make a motion on it, or is that, doesn't, or can he just hear us and know what we just said?
Good.
I don't know.
So, asking for guidance on how we want to proceed. So, I think our guidance is that we would like to go back to the current sponsors first and ask them if they would like to renew, if you will.
Mhm.
And then the park board is willing to then do additional marketing and sales
Right.
for additional sponsors. And then are we saying maybe if there's like some gaps, or if we think that we need something additional, then bring in LBSA too?
Yeah, or at least be open to LBSA joining with maybe?
Right.
Because I can think of one really good salesperson on
Yeah,
LBSA.
Right,
So maybe that would be maybe the request is maybe not for them to do fundraising necessarily specifically, but help out with the marketing and selling of the sponsorships? I don't know.
right.
And so I just assumed those were the same. Like them a fundraising plan for them was the same as, it was just them getting the sponsors or us working with them to get the sponsors, so I might have read that wrong.
That's
Say-
kind of what I was thinking too, actually.
I didn't know either. I'd say we could do a joint effort if LBSA wanted to help look if we needed.
Okay.
So everything you said, except maybe bring in LBSA as the partner from the beginning too, because they might have other ideas too, and we can all kind of do it all together.
Yeah.
All right?
What do you
Any-
think, Sailor?
I was just thinking that looking at it from like the LBSA standpoint, if the park board were to try and work with them, then they could turn around and say, hey, we're doing this fundraiser for a new scoreboard, signage, whatnot, and give people a reason to participate in their fundraisers. So I think it would be good on both sides, not only for sponsorships, but if we did need to do some fundraising to fill any gaps, to work with them up front so they can have time to plan and come up with ideas of how to get people involved.
Right. So we don't necessarily need to fundraise, right? We're just selling spots.
Yeah, and I think that's the fundraising,
Right.
is the sponsorship.
Okay,
That's how I
I
read
feel
it.
like it's worded just kind
Yeah.
of like it's kind of confusing,
Yeah,
so.
to me it was like, we fill the spots with local businesses and or
Right, right,
LBSA fundraising, like it was like two different
Right.
options.
Unless they're trying to word it like to raise money to pay for the actual signs and profit all of the sponsorships. So you're not taking out of this, I don't know,
I don't know.
I think it's just selling spots.
yeah.
Well, we can recommend or tell that we would like to work with LBSA in however they're saying, or that he wants, and we're willing to help try to sell the signs if that's a separate thing.
Right, so now if Park and Rec worked with LBSA, so do you split the funds then, do you think?
I think it will all go back.
Because we are all park and, everything, whereas they're just baseball, softball, like would we?
Oh. I
But in
guess-
my opinion, there's scoreboard signs for that baseball field, or, so they should go, all that money should go to,
To the field.
Baseball, softball.
Baseball, okay.
in my opinion.
No, yes,
And so, in that case,
yeah,
it doesn't matter either way. And maybe someone disagrees, I don't know, but that would be my thought. Because that was initially used to, I think, maybe not buy, but like, that's how they got that
Signage.
scoreboard, was signage initially.
right,
And if that's how they're fundraising right now, then that should go to
Something
that
that would,
group. Just like if
Yeah.
we put tennis signs on, have our sponsors on the tennis courts or the
Right.
band shell, I don't think that would go all over the place, that would probably go to those areas,
that's spot, right, yeah,
I think. I don't know.
yeah. Yeah, makes sense.
but, I mean, we can finish up, or, I mean, change our ideas at some point if we need to, too.
Right, well, and I don't know when our next LBSA meeting is, but, it should be fairly soon, and we can talk about it there too, just so they know that we wanna kind of move forward and get this done.
I mean, I don't know what a timeline would be, but if they're that worn, we'd probably wanna get them going this
This-
summer still.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know how long it takes to produce the signs or.
Right,
whatever.
yeah. So,
So,
okay. Anyone have anything else?
no,
All right, well, then can I get a motion to adjourn?
almost in adjourn.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 Who's second? Sorry. Aye.
Christie.
Christie, okay, thank you.
All right, we're done.
All right. All right, see you, sailor.
Thank you.
You bet.